Hello everyone! Welcome back to another Warhammer battle. This is going to be a 1v1 with me playing as the Dwarves, and my enemy is going to be the Empire. My front line here is going to consist of Dwarven warriors for the most part. Then we are backed up by Longbeards with great weapons, the Grumbling Guard, Longbeards, and then the warriors of Dragonfire Pass right here. We have some Slayers, a group of Miners, a Runesmith, and of course Grom Brindle here trying him out again. This is only my second time. And then I have over here two Rangers with great weapons, and then Uthar's Raiders, and then a Gyrocopter. Now I knew that the enemy was going to bring flying, because you always do as the Empire. It's the meta now. And I was going to try and do a lot of damage to force them to use their potion early by luring them into a trap with my Gyrocopter. Because they're probably thinking, why the hell would you bring a Gyrocopter against the Empire? It's a dumb choice, right? But I want to lure them into these three people with this buff of the Uthar's Raiders and do massive amounts of damage is the point. The enemy here brought a Hammer of the Witches, which I think is kind of odd, I guess maybe for anti-cannon capabilities, I don't know. Then another Great Cannon, then a whole bunch of Halberdiers backed up by a Celestial Wizard, Empire Captain mounted, and then a General of the Empire mounted with potions, of course. And then we have the Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Silver Bullets. Not sure why you'd bring the Silver Bullets, because I'm playing as the Dwarves and not Clan Angrins, so their magical damage has really no buff against the Dwarves. Clan Angrin is the only one who can bring the ethereal ones, so I can see why you'd bring the Silver Bullets against them just to shoot down the Celestial Witches. Anyway, right here we're going to debuff the Imperial Captain because it took the bait, and then we were all in range. I give the attack order. No one throws anything. And he was in range until about, like, right here. None of my dwarves do anything with the attack order. I was so pissed. Because then, okay, well, now they know I have these three Uthar Great Raiders, and nothing even happened from this ambush. I was supposed to do basically half damage in one salvo to this Imperial Captain, force somebody to use a potion early on, and then I was going to redeploy them, which I'm doing right now, behind my army. Not even one salvo. All this money just wasted right there. Like, there was supposed to be a great ambush. Gyrocopters, I'm like, man, we're not going to fall for that again. So, anyway, we're about to now meet up with their main line. You can see they have been doing some damage to my Grumbling Guards and a couple hits to my Longbeards. Dwarven Warriors could do okay against Halberdiers, so I'm not too worried. I didn't actually mean to send in my Slayers here. I'm not sure why that happened. But I am going to send in a Runesmith who's going to be buffing our people. I'm going to be sending in Grom Brindle. And my Longbeards is going to be going in behind. You can see the Warriors Dragonfire Pastor now over here doing their anti-infantry damage. I have my Gyrocopters doing what damage they can to these Halberdiers because they do steam shots. So it's okay against low armor targets. And you can see the flying creatures here from the Empire are going to start going over the front line. I'm pulling back my Slayers because I realized that I put them into melee. And you can see one salvo actually stunned the General of the Empire there, briefly. They do a lot of damage when they focus fire. That's why I brought three of them, because it's almost guaranteed to stun with one hit. So the General's going to redirect their force over here to these Longbeards that are engaged against the Halberdiers. I'm trying to get my Rangers in range to throw their axes into the General to force him to use his potion. Also pulling over my Miners as well. You can see we were hit with the Curse of the Midnight Wind over here. And for some reason, my Rangers just keep, like, not engaging. But there we go. They finally in range. They're going to throw some axes. It's going to do a little bit of damage. My Longbeards has been routed now. You can see these hammers not really firing as much because I think they were targeting my front line. Oh, there we go. So now they just retargeted because most of this fight, when we have engaged our armies, they were not firing. I think they were trying to engage against my Grumbling Guard and they didn't have a shot. But then they redirect their fire to these Uthar Raiders. I'm now going to be pulling out Grom Brindle and my Slayers who were engaged with the Knights of the Blazing Sun over here in the forest. I specifically engaged the Knights in the forest because they have a penalty in the trees as a large creature. So now I'm going to pull my Slayers over here as I try to retreat my Rangers away from this General of the Empire. I'm trying to get Grom Brindle and the Runesmith over there to deal with him. Meanwhile, the front line is still the front line. We're doing even blows here basically between the Dwarf Warriors and the Halberdiers. But in the middle here, my Grumbling Guard are overwhelming these Halberdiers, and my Warriors Dragonfire Pass over here are also overwhelming. I'm not sure why they sent these Silver Bullets into melee, but they're overwhelming these Halberdiers over here. So Grom Brindle gets into the fight, and you can see he is going to just destroy the General of the Empire in melee, who is now backed up by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. We just have all sorts of units mixed in here. I believe the Captain is in here as well. Yes, he is. But yeah, you can see that we are doing a lot of damage to the General of the Empire. I believe they popped their potions. Yeah, they popped the potion of full hardiness and toughness, which is very standard now in the meta. The potion of full hardiness gives you unbreakable so that your potion of toughness is going to be used all the way so you get the max use out of it. That's just common at this point. In fact, it's kind of rare to see Karl Franz now. You just see General of the Empire as the potion of toughness and full hardiness. It's honestly just kind of boring. But anyway, we've pushed through the middle, and I'm going to put a pressure to the cannons now with our infantry there. Warriors Dragonfire Pass is still doing amazingly well against these halberds over here because they have bonus versus infantry. The General of the Empire has been forced to run away from Grombrindal. He's going to engage against our front line there. Miners and our Dwarf Warriors over here are doing okay against these halberdiers over there. Rangers who have been routed are going to be coming back to the fight. We have dealt a massive amount of damage to these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Trying to get some hits on this Empire Captain, but they're very mobile on the Pegasus, so we're going to have to just not do anything there. So now our Runesmith, what remains of our Slayers, and Grombrindal is going to be trying to go wherever the General of the Empire is. Who is now, you can see, going to be heading over to our Rangers, so we're going to be flying that way. The cannons are still firing, even though I put a Dwarf Warrior in them. The Dwarf Warriors are being stopped by the wall of actual artillery, so it's very annoying, and I have to keep giving new orders to attack the Hammer of the Witches to try and just get them to stop firing, because, well, I want them to stop firing. And over here, the General and the Empire Captain are going to do their flying shenanigans, going up and around and charging here and there. So I'm just going to use this force to try and go after these halberdiers and destroy them. While our Uthar Raiders are just going to get killed by the Imperial Captain and the great cannons back there. General of the Empire is going to go down on our Grumbling Guard, who was trying to help the Warriors Dragonfire Pass in this situation. Again, I'm not sure why the Silver Bullets are in melee. I'm sure that was a mistake. So my Uthar, or my Rangers here, have not really been able to use any of their ammunition, which is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Over here, we're going to engage against the Imperial Captain with the Runesmith and our Rangers, Slayers, and Grombrindal here soon. We've destroyed that one group of halberdiers. My one Dwarf Warrior finally routed one cannon group and is still trying to rout the other cannon group. You would think a Dwarf Warrior group can rout a couple artillery crews pretty quickly, but no. No, they cannot. So we do some decent amount of damage, and we're going to rout the Empire Captain here. Our old Grumblers are going to be charging these Silver Bullets to finally disengage from melee, so I'm going to follow them and try to murder them there, while the General of the Empire is going to destroy our Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. And we're just going to chase these guys for a while, because I know that their damage is going to hurt, because they're armor piercing, and that sucks for me, so I want to try and kill them. Still working on this Hammer of the Witches crew. They've been fighting for, I don't know, about 2 minutes now. Insane how long it takes them to rout them. So here we go, the Knights of Blazing Sun are still there. So our little death squad, which is what this has turned into, of Slayer, Runesmith, and whatever is remaining around, is going to engage against these Halberdiers, Blazing Sun, the Celestial Wizard as well, and the General. You can see Grombrindal has taken about half health at this point. Longbeards were still chasing the Silver Bullets, but I decided to pull them back because I thought I would need them for this engagement. I'm trying to pull back some warriors who have come back from routing, but they just kind of keep rerouting. And you can see that the enemy is definitely trying to kill Grombrindal here, so I'm going to accept this battle, and we're going to try and kill the General of the Empire. You can see we're taking a lot of damage. We don't really have many units here. You have one Slayer there, a couple Rangers left, and we have more Slayers into these Knights of Blazing Sun. But Grombrindal is a hardy dwarf, so he is holding on. We dodged that Imperial Captain charge, and we're going to get some more damage on the General. Pulling back my Dwarf Warriors from the Hammer of the Witches. And I really want their Vigor aura over here so that we can have an edge in this battle. That was my flash grenade from Grombrindal that I just dropped on the enemy there. And I'm going to just constantly be assigning him attack orders on the General of the Empire. And you can see Grombrindal's almost dead. The General is almost dead. My Dwarf Warriors are getting intercepted by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. The Celestial Wizard is trying to stop my Longbeards, but I keep giving them new attack orders on the General. I'm like, F you, Celestial Wizard, I'm not going to be stopped by you. And we get a surround on him, and then Grombrindal says, F you and your flying mounts. I'm Grombrindal the White Dwarf. So he manages to kill the General of the Empire. Technically twice, because he uses damn potion toughness. But they're still trying to kill Grombrindal, and I believe he actually does go down here very soon. He has no hit points left. But he brought down that General of the Empire, and he's doing some damage against this captain as well. You can see he almost kills this Empire captain. And then he's finally going to fall to the, I believe, probably the Celestial Wizard, I guess. But almost killed the Empire captain, killed the General of the Empire, again, technically twice. And so now we're going to assign these Dwarf Warriors to attack the Silver Bullets, because they are one of our biggest threats. And I'm going to follow them with our Runesmith and the Grumbling Guard, what remains of them, which is 8 models, as we get chased by the Celestial Wizard, which I'm going to try and ignore. So I'm going to just focus on my biggest threat, which is there. The Empire Captain who was routed comes back from routing with almost no hit points left, which is unfortunate, because any kind of flying unit, especially an Imperial Captain, is going to be a high threat, considering we only have a Grumbling Guard, a Runesmith, and this Dwarf Warrior left. So I decided to take this fight with the Celestial Wizard since he kept charging me, and I think he's going to fall back at this point. Oh, no. I did some hits and we're going to move back. I want to try and remain close to my Dwarf Warriors because I know it's going to be targeted by the Imperial Captain, which is exactly what's going to happen. I have a unit that came back from routing briefly, but is going to run again due to losses of the army and not being around one of our lords. So you can see this Imperial Captain is very tired, does do some damage to our Dwarf Warriors, but I'm just ignoring him, or trying to keep assigning attack orders on the Silver Bullets. I cannot let them get any type of distance on us and get another volley off. So we're going to chase the Imperial Captain off and continue to chase after the Silver Bullets. And chase after the Silver Bullets. Then get charged by an Imperial Captain. Chase off Imperial Captain, chase Silver Bullets. Get charged by Imperial Captain, chase off Imperial Captain, chase Silver Bullets. Get charged by Imperial... You see a pattern here? So finally we chase off the Silver Bullets, so now I can finally get my group all together. I don't have to worry about them anymore. And the Imperial Captain, actually, in that last charge, I think we got a single hit on him with the Runesmith, and that knocked him into routing again, and he actually routed off the field. So F you, Imperial Captain. And so now all they have left is a Halberdier, who's exhausted, and the Celestial Wizard, who is a little bit of half health. We have our Runesmith, who has all of their buffs on, I think, at this point, and the Grumbling Guard. The Dwarf Warrior is exhausted, so I'm actually going to pull them closer to the Grumbling Guard as we make our final approach. So you can see they're going to get hit by the Vigor Aura now, and they go from exhausted to very tired. Then they're going to go to winded. There's the winded, and then I think they go into active at some point, or maybe just tired. I can't remember. So here we go, final battle. So what happened there is I applied the Rune of Wrath and Ruin on the Halberdiers, which made them rout almost instantly with our Runesmith, and then we're just going to get into a melee with the Celestial Wizard. He was over half health at this point. Still dangerous. Listen, it's still dangerous. But luckily with the Grumbling Guard, our Dwarf Warriors who were exhausted are now active, so they do not have the -8 penalty to leadership. If they did, it's very possible they would have routed, and that could have caused a chain rout right there. Possible. I don't know if it would happen. But the Celestial Wizard finally succumbs to the leadership and shatters right there amongst what remains of the Dwarven army. So thank you for watching. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We got to go over the kill count. Good game to my opponent there. Jeez. Let's talk about the bitter end. Grombrindle, 39 kills. Dwarf Warrior frontline did pretty well against the Halberd line. It's odd to see a Halberd line against a Dwarf player. I can kind of see why, because the Halberds are very defensively focused, so they can hold kind of like Dwarf Warriors can hold, and they still do have some armor-piercing damage, so it's not bad, and you could spam out a lot of them as opposed to spamming out a lot of great swords. You wouldn't be able to get as many great swords. So, I mean, yeah, I can see how, like, and they did pretty well. They did pretty well. They got a high amount of kills all around. They did, like, toe-for-toe with our Dwarf Warriors. Dragonfire Pass Warriors did 60 kills, which is not bad. Slayers got 39. The Grumbling Guard, 100 kills. And you can see this whole thing right here, basically wasted. Basically wasted. My whole point of this was to do a really nice ambush to whoever took the bait of the gyrocopter. And it's so infuriating that none of them threw a single axe, even though they were in range more than long enough to get at least one round off, because that would have done so much damage. And it's possible we would have stunned the Imperial Captain as he tried to run, so we could have got enough time to do another salvo. Like, stunning is a huge mechanic. If you do enough damage to a monstrous creature, they're going to get stunned and just stop. So it is something you have to consider, and that's what I wanted to happen. I'm so upset that, like, all this was just basically wasted. Oh, I don't know why they didn't throw. Why didn't they throw? Maybe the gyrocopter's in the way. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened. I have no idea. Anyway. Imperial Captain, or I'm sorry, General of the Empire, 91 kills is really good. Empire Captain, 37, 16 on the Celestial Wizard. Again, the front line of Halberdiers is really well. The Silver Bullets, I probably would have lost the game, honestly, if the Silver Bullets were not engaged in melee for most of that battle. If they were just kind of whipped around the flanks and just shot at anything. Very good chance I would have lost, considering what I had there at the very end. 75 kills on the Hammer of the Witches, 65 on the Great Cannon, and 91 on the Knights of the Blazing Sun. So I don't. Like, it's kind of cool to have a very aggressive dwarf build. You don't have any cannons at all. It can work, I guess. I don't know. It may not be my favorite tactic for the dwarf, but I may try it some more in the future. I'm just so upset that basically all of this is wasted money. All of this was wasted. It's fine though. Maybe next time I'll get them in the ambush. Maybe. But I hope you enjoyed the match, everybody. And again, good game to Surd. That was about as close as you can get. And I will see you all next time. Take care.